Welcome back to Hugh Loving Life. I am going to do this read with much more sensitivity than I have before. Most of my reads are empowering and, of course, have great information in them, but this one is making me pause. And because it's so sensitive, I want to chant the word Hugh 3 times, actually 5 times, to get to the fifth dimensional plane before I do this read. So I'm going to sing the word Hugh, a high vibration word for love or God or source or all that is, in order to give you the best read on this one because it is really sensitive. Okay. Hugh. 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 Okay, so this is the shame card that came out, and it is the number 36. And it is really reading, to me at least, as if you might have some shameful secret that you've kept for a long time, or that you feel is innately wrong about who you actually are. Maybe you've been raised in a family that believes that people who are gay are wrong or bad, and maybe that's causing you deep shame and heartache. But the point of this read is to let you know that shame is really, like, I think it's the lowest on the list of feelings that you can feel. And it's a really bad thing to carry with you. And so this card reading is to tell you there's nothing shameful about being who you innately are. Of course, you're not harming other people or children, that would be a problem, right? But if you're not harming anyone and you just feel this innate shame, it could be because you've been carrying something with you that's really heavy and dark that you've experienced or that you've done to someone else that leaves you feeling shameful. Now, if you don't fit into those two categories, it could be that you were raised with a family who was incredibly harsh with you and shamed you as their form of discipline. Some people do that. They don't know how to parent. So if you're one of the unfortunate people who were parented, quote unquote, by people who just don't know how to parent, then you could be carrying that kind of shame in your entire being. And the word I chanted is a helpful way to start to release that, because you'll up level your vibration by chanting it, Hugh. But the other things you can do is really start to look within, even if it's scary, or talk to someone about it, because what you don't express festers. Okay. Now, the next card was uplifting in that it's the card of hope. In this deck, it is hope, the butterfly, and snowdrop. And they are symbols of spring, reminding us that winter will soon end and that hope is on the horizon. And of course, as you know, butterflies go through a metamorphosis stage. They transform from egg to larva, chrysalis, and finally they are full on butterfly. So if you're in the humble and fragile egg stage right now, just know that it is a part of your journey and that you will, in time, with thought, love, and self-love, for sure. If you have shame for yourself, self-love, you can begin to heal whatever wounds it is that you are carrying. You also receive the begin card. And as you can see, there is like a walkway towards the water, which, by the way, is a very highly spiritual and emotional sign. So water is not only indicating emotions, but the sunshine and the horizon. It's all about new beginnings or beginning. So it's basically about the promise of renewal. Okay, looking at what you fear, questioning things, and taking the next step, whatever that is, towards your own personal healing. So, take a deep breath and then move forward. And as you move forward with each breath and each step, you are actually creating a new beginning. Every single time you move forward, look at something, make an action towards your healing, you create movement towards it. And you don't get anywhere by staying stuck and not looking or avoiding. So, this card is asking you to deal with what it is that you're feeling shameful about. And if it's just conditioned into you from your childhood, to start giving yourself positive messages of hope and love and affirmation. The next card you received is the Swift, which indicates movement. Again, movement, taking a step in the right direction. And it is also an omen of upcoming travel. And that travel doesn't have to be you going on a vacation, it could be you going into yourself, which is, by the way, the greatest vacations. Okay. Traveling to a higher level of consciousness. The water in the previous card indicates the fifth dimension and above, where it's all love, the love planes. So if a Swift and all of these cards are appearing to you, it's basically asking you to really start loving yourself and releasing any shame that you have carried with you for who you are, for anything you've done, or for how you were raised and the paradigm that you find yourself defaulting to simply because that's what your parents said or did, or your teachers. Okay. You don't want to carry that negative stuff. It's bad enough that other people may have been bad to you, but to continually talk badly to yourself changes nothing for the better. So you have to remember that you are a spark of all that is, that you were made perfectly perfect as you are, and that you, on some level, have chosen to learn certain lessons in these bodies in this lifetime that may be more challenging than others. Okay. But if you can own that you are the author and that things that have happened or that you've done ultimately have a purpose. So if you can switch your vibe from having like a victim mentality about your life, which of course you could argue is true on certain levels, but if you can say this happened or I did this and this is how it's made me stronger, and start looking for the crystals and jewels there, that would be useful as well. And making amends with others and yourself is always a great way to lift the shame off of your shoulders. And know that, again, you are a product of love, of God source love, all that is. So you are innately, underneath all those layers and layers of onion, right, that have caked themselves onto, you are innately a ball of love. And so if we can rid ourselves of all the old stories, then we can raise ourselves to that awareness, that fifth dimension and above state of pure love. So I'm going to chant the word Hue 5 more times in closing this out. And I would say to consider chanting the word yourself. It will help raise your vibration, and you'll get the next answer in your heart, and your third eye, your mind, your soul will know what to do in your healing journey, whether it's physical, spiritual, emotional, psychic, whatever the case may be. You'll start to know what's next. So I'm going to close this out with 5 hues. You're welcome to sing it with me, chant it. It just means love. You can belong to any religion and still chant the word for love. Hue. 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 You, you. May the blessings be.